2 of the F1 Academy, and we arrived on the streets of Jeddah. Lights out for race 1, and it was wheel to wheel straight away. Leah Block, who was going from the back of the grid, sadly would find her race coming to an early end. Likewise, Chloe Chong, Dorian Pan was firing her way through the field as she tried to make it 3 in a row here at Jeddah. Out front, despite pressure from Maya Berg, Ella Lloyd would take her first win in F1 Academy and a first podium here for McLaren. Well, that was race 1, the reverse grid race 1. They will now start as they qualified here in race 2. Welcome everyone to Grand Prix Sunday at the Saudi Arabian Grand Prix, and we get ready to go racing at the Jeddah Corniche circuit. Here's a reminder of the challenge the drivers are about to take on for the next 13 laps. It provided lots of overtaking yesterday. No DRS in F1 Academy, but we didn't need it. Look at that start finish straight. That provided a drag race to the line with Ella Lloyd and Maya Berg split by just 1/10 of a second as they came up to the line, with Ella Lloyd taking her first win in F1 Academy. And speaking of first, Chloe Chambers will lead us away for the first time from pole position in F1 Academy today, with Dorian Pan, who won here twice last year, alongside her, taking the checkered flag twice, one of those wins counting. Well, I'm Chris McCarthy, alongside me Alice Powell, and that's a view Chloe Chambers has for the first time, Alice.
She's not broken her stare of going down into turn 1. She'll know how crucial it is to get these tyres up to temperature. Dorian Pan last sought out of gloves before they take on the formation lap. Track temperature up to 61 degrees. It's the hottest track temperature we've seen all weekend for these F1 Academy cars. Air temperature a little bit cooler, down in 29, but still challenging conditions. You can see the heat haze coming off, whether that's the cars, the track. It's going to be a tough one for these drivers.
It is. Let's remind you of the grid. So this is how they qualified, is the starting grid. Leah Block crashed in qualifying at the last corner, so she goes from the back alongside our wildcard, Farah Al-Yusuf. Ava Anagnostiadis is next alongside her high-tech teammate Nicole Haverder. Let's see if they can move forward in this one. Courtney Crone was caught up in an instant with Leah Block yesterday. She's alongside Rafaela Ferreira in the Racing Bulls. Aurelia Nobles backed by Puma. She's alongside Joanne Chiconti. 11th place has gone well in qualifying. Then it is Chloe Chong, her race coming to an early end. She caught up in that first corner incident. Nina Gageman, who scored points yesterday despite carrying injury, is alongside her. Then it's Emma Felbermeyer, and our winner from yesterday, Ella Lloyd. Tina Hausman in the points for the first time this season yesterday, and Alba Larson, who has continuously been in the points, one of 6 drivers to do so. Alicia Palmovsky on the podium for the 2nd time this season. Maya Berg, we can't keep her off the podium. She's been there every race so far, the only driver to do so. Then Dorian Pan, a winner here last year, and Chloe Chambers for Red Bull Ford alongside on pole position for the first time. And that is your grid. More points on offer up today as we go to the order they qualified. It's Grand Prix style points, so 25 to the winner. Starting in 7th place is Ella Lloyd. She moved herself up to 5th place in the championship. In terms of points, it's Dorian Pan on 37, Maya Berg on 34, Chloe Chambers 28, Alicia Palmovsky's on 24, then Ella Lloyd on 19. How much confidence, Alice, will that give her coming into this race? Do you think she can move forward?
I think she can. She'll be full of confidence after yesterday's performance as just all team personnel are ushered away off the grid. Making places is crucial. Believe it or not, we only have 10 races left.
Yes.
And 10 does sound a lot, but they go by very quickly, of course. Back out again in a couple of weeks in Miami. So that's 5 rounds remaining. 3 points are separating the top 2 of Dorian Pan and Maya Berg, with Chloe Chambers 9 points behind. And guess what? They're all lining up all together on the front couple of rows. So they know how crucial it is to make the most of the situation you have, and the situation you have at the moment is Chloe Chambers starting from pole. Dorian, we know how fast she was around this circuit last year. She led from start to finish in every single race. Of course, got demoted and got that penalty for taking the checkered flag twice in race 2. So she'll know, but we've actually seen Chloe Chambers and Dorian Pan come together in Abu Dhabi last year. They got a bit too close to each other going into turn 1.
Yep, they did. Well, let's see if that is to happen again. They're going to be side by side on the front row, and starting just behind them is Maya Berg. We caught up with our top three after qualifying on Friday. Let's start by hearing from Maya Berg.
I don't know what I'm expecting, to be honest. It's gonna be a close race, I think. As we saw in quali and as we saw in practice, we're all very close this weekend. So it's gonna be close, and we will try to just have to maximize the start again, see what we can do there, and just maximize every opportunity I get.
Obviously, we're gonna go for the win. I think we have a good pace, so we try to do a good first lap. We're gonna see if we have some opportunities at the start, but we have the good pace, so I'm sure it's gonna be close. But for sure, I'm going for the win.
I mean, for me, it's all about just getting a strong start, just a good jump off the line to hold first place going into the first corner, and then from there, just driving my own race, trying to minimize the mistakes. I think there will be probably a couple of safety cars, but again, in tomorrow's race, I'm expecting the same, so I can probably learn a little bit from tomorrow's race already to prepare myself for Sunday, and hopefully come away with the win.
7th place for Chloe Chambers yesterday, Dorian Pan finishing in 4th. What do you think they learnt from yesterday's race, Alice? It was very nose to tail all the way through, particularly the top 8. We did have a safety car, then well, we did see the field bunching up. What do you think they would have taken away from that race?
Certainly, as Chloe mentioned there, a couple of safety cars at a probability here. They would have learned how to deal with their tyres under safety car. If maybe they should have allowed them to have a little bit of a cool, or whether they need to put more energy into keeping that temperature up there. You can see they've got the correct idea. I'm sure the drivers would love a fan in the car right now. Of course, then the 13 laps, they don't consistently pound around in qualifying and practice for 13 laps. So in these really hot temperatures, they would have learned a lot about the tyres and how best to manage that Pirelli rubber.
And Ella Lloyd dealt with that restart very well yesterday, holding off Maya Berg in the end. Aurelia Nobels getting her best result of the season yesterday up in P10. Not the longest run down to the first corner, but one that presents a lot of overtaking opportunity, particularly around the outside.
It does. We saw a great move from Maya, didn't we, yesterday on Alicia Palmowski. Just how powerful the toe is as well, and Maya got that drive, that perfect drive, nailing all those upshifts all the way down that main straight to then capitalise on using Ella Lloyd's toe just in front of her to then swoop around the outside of Alicia Palmowski. But the start is crucial. As Chloe said, if she can get away, she just needs to focus on her own race. But I can guarantee you, Dorian Pan and Maya Berg know how important it is to gather as many points as possible at these early stages of the season.
Watch for Leah Block coming from the back of the field as well. This is round 2, race 2, 13 laps ahead of us, points to the top 10 Grand Prix style points. Here we go for 13 laps. To the right of screen is Dorian Pan, to the left Chloe Chambers. We are go for race 2 here at Jeddah. We have a staller, which is Ella Lloyd in the background, but Chloe Chambers has made a good start going down towards turn 1, and Maya Berg round the outside and down the inside of Dorian Pan to take second place. A few drivers not getting away quickly in the background. There is Ella Lloyd. She did get away in the end, but a few drivers slow off the line. Chloe Chambers, though, quick off the line, and she's got a gap over Maya Berg, who's taken second place.
Great move by Maya. Dorian gave her racing room on the outside, but then quickly turns on to the inside for turn 2. Dorian's now under pressure from Alicia Palmowski, and just look how much these drivers, these F1 Academy drivers, will be fighting on the wheel as they go through. But importantly for Chloe Chambers, she nailed that start and was able to sort of breeze into turn 1. She's got a gap, but she'll know the pace that Maya Berg had yesterday. Chloe's pace probably not as good as she would have liked, as the rest of the field are all pretty much together, filtering through turn 13 now.
Chambers, good gap over Maya Berg. No DRS in F1 Academy as they come down towards this turn 22 section. This will be the run now down to that braking zone at turn 22. We've got Nina Gavin there in the pink Alpine livery. She's made a good start. A couple of drivers just struggling off the line. Ava Adagnostiadis has dropped back. Nicole Havrida, Fada Al-Yusuf. There is Ella Lloyd. She was one of the drivers slow away, and she's dropped down the field, so we'll be looking to try and make her way back. She's currently in P13. Aurelia Nobels in P11, trying to get past Chloe Chong.
can see the car of Chloe Chong, the Charlotte Tilbury car, snaking on the exit of 22, which is quickly into 23. Those chicanes that we have here in Jeddah, they're quite quick, one into the next. You can see Emma Felbermeyer now under a lot of pressure from Rafaela Ferreira. She takes to the inside to cover off the line. A small lock-up was that Nina Gaidman that had it, but Chloe Chong, she's on the defensive, but Oriana Noble swings around the outside, and we'll hope that she's just about done enough, and I think she has. But let's have a look at the gap up front, down to 0.3 of a second.
Nobel's made a move, Lloyd made a move, both round the outside, and out front it is 2.5 tenths between the two leaders. Chambers, Berg, Pan, then Palmovsky is having to defend from the Tommy Hilfiger livery car of Alba Larsen. Look at this is an intense battle. Oh, and that's a spinner, surely, yes. Emma Felbermeyer is round, and having to take avoiding action was Aurelia Nobel's. Did she manage to keep the car going? She did, but she's lost a few places now. She is behind Joanne Ciconti, so we've got a yellow flag out. Let's see if Emma Felbermeyer can get going again. I'm hearing she has, and that green flag is confirmation that Emma Felbermeyer is on her way again. So a shame there for Felbermeyer. She is back going in this race, Alice, but she's had a great season so far, always in the top 11 positions, but she'll have to come from the back now.
Yeah, the big benefiter in that was Ella Lloyd. You could just see through shot there, yesterday's race winner. She got a lightning start yesterday, didn't she? But clearly a poor getaway from her at the start of this race. Back at the front, Chloe Chambers has opened up the gap slightly. She's set a really good first sector, a couple of tenths quicker than her chasing down of Maya Berg, but who's actually closed that gap. It's really hard to follow in that tricky first sector with the dirty air coming off from the car in front, but Maya Berg's had a great run, Chris.
Down the outside into turn 22. That would be really brave for Maya Berg. Surely she can't do it. Takes to the runoff. No surprise there. And she'll have to concede the position on the exit to Chloe Chambers, which she does. Okay, round two. Down to the last corner. Who will emerge the leader? Will it be Chambers in the Red Bull Ford, or will it be Maya Berg in the Ferrari? Dorian Pan, meanwhile, closing in with every single corner. Berg to the outside. Battle on the brakes between the pair. And it's going to be Chambers who leads for the time being, and Pan is right there in the background, Alice.
A great sight for Dorian Pan. That's going to allow her to draw into the back, and you can see already she's right on the back of this. Chloe Chambers has no choice to defend going down this straight. We saw a great move from Maya Berg around the outside of Alicia Palmowski yesterday. Can she do the same thing? She's done a great move, and she does. Fantastic move by Maya Berg to take the lead. Can she get it stopped for the second corner? She does. Great stuff.
Maya Berg back into the lead of the race then. She's inherited it now and has kept it for the first time. Chloe Chambers in second. We ride on board with Dorian Pan, who is now closed in. Oh, and a moment over the curb there for Maya Berg, and Chambers sees an opportunity. Brave stuff this. We've got the best view in the house on board with Dorian Pan. They're side by side. They're wheel to wheel. They're both off the track, and Dorian Pan goes through to second place.
Yeah, contact from both of them there, and just not wanting to give up the corner. A mistake by Maya Berg. And we saw yesterday as well, and also in free practice, how aggressive those curves can be. Lando Norris, also a driver racing at the top of his game, making a mistake going over those curves, and it's punished Maya Berg as she's sunk a little bit further down the pack, lost the lead. But Dorian Pan right there capitalised on the mistake from both drivers in front. I'm sure Maya Berg will be on the radio as well as Chloe Chambers to make a complaint about each other, but it's come out on top as Chloe Chambers and Pan just not having quite the pace in these early few laps. But I wonder if she's just maybe nursing these Pirelli tyres, managing that gap, and then going to strike at the very end, because at the end of yesterday's race she had such strong pace.
I'll take a brief pause to say that the incident between Felbermeyer and Rafaela Ferreira, we didn't quite see how that incident unfolded, but that incident is under investigation. That happened at turn 2, of course. Felbermeyer down in 17th now. It is under investigation. Okay, back to this battle we see on screen, and it stretches all the way back to Nina Gaidman in 7th. Maya Berg lining a move up in towards the final corner, trying to sell the dummy there on Dorian Pan. Pan was wise to the challenge though. Gap now for Chambers is stretched to 0.6 of a second. She just managed to hold her lead with that wheel-to-wheel moment on Berg, and Berg is now trying to get this move done. We look back from Dorian Pan. Can Maya Berg take second place from her? She goes to the outside there of Pan. Pan wheel to wheel with her. Will she complete this move round the outside? Brave stuff from Berg, and she's gone into second place. Alice.
She's just got so much confidence in the MP Ferrari on the brakes going into turn one, and that's the second time during this race she's done that to Dorian Pan, and of course managed to make that move on Chloe Chambers as well. So the pace from Maya Berg is exceptional at the moment. Here's a replay of the starts. You can see the McLaren driver of Ella Lloyd gets away slowly. Joanja Conte also has an issue actually, and so do the drivers pretty much all behind. So lots of them struggling in these very, very hot conditions. Track temperature, as I mentioned, higher than it was yesterday, but nice and clean. Everyone kept it clean that made it into turn one together. Myberg round the outside, kept it really nice and tidy. Forced Dorian Pin on the outside of turn two, but great stuff.
Yeah, that caused a kind of break in the field, and while we had two packs, and then this incident unfolded between Ferreira and Felbermeyer.
Yeah, and it looks like Felbermeyer would have had that lift to get the car rotated into turn two, and Ferreira couldn't predict that she was going to have that much of a lift. So there's the mistake from Maya Berg, which sent her flying up into the air. Car landed, door opened for Chloe Chambers. Now, was there enough room on the inside? It was tight, and there we go. It's being noted by the race directors and race control, who will be having a look at that. So of course we'll keep you updated. And it's actually lucky for Maya that she only lost a couple of places there.
That was for turn 22 as well. So that even for another incident. So Chambers and Berg, Chambers, that has been noted, forcing another driver off the circuit into turn 22. We'll keep an eye on that.
Really good job, Maya. Keep it cool. We can do it.
And we did also see as well that we have had a 10-second penalty for Rafaela Ferreira as well for that incident. We did see her make contact with the back of Felbermeyer's car, which turned her into a spin. Okay, Rafaela Ferreira currently in 8th in the points, so that would make an impact on the points paying position so far. Here they come. There she is in the Racing Bulls livery, and Ella Lloyd is doing a great job here, Alice, at catching up so far. Susie Wolf will be enjoying this so far. The F1 Academy team watching on. Like yesterday, we're being treated to a really good battle here.
You can see big smiles from the team on the pit wall there, and like you said, a great battle. Chloe Chambers is just managing to open a bit of the gap, set the fastest lap of the race last time round. Maya Berg climbing all over the curb there on the exit of turn 10, so fighting the car all the way through this section down into the banked turn 13. So Chambers is finding her feet now. It sounds like someone had a small luck up, unsure who that was going into 13. Riding on board with Nina Gateman, who had that injury coming into this weekend. She had a heavy crash here when they came here for testing a few weeks ago. She's doing a great job. All three Pema drivers are up into the top 7.
On board with Nina Gateman, carrying injury. This is really good stuff from her. This the onboard view down to turn 22, and Alicia Palmovsky, well, has kept quiet, has been patient. Similar approach to what she did yesterday, but she got a podium out of that in the end, and not a bad person to be following in this battle.
No, she's going to try and learn as much as she can. She had one race in F1 Academy last year. She was the wild card in Qatar, so got a taste of F1 Academy life back then. You see the speed trap on your right-hand side as she'll tuck into the toe of Dorian Pan, who had the benefit of the toe from 2 cars in front as well. But Maya Berg, fastest of anyone in the middle sector. That seems to be her strongest sector over Chloe Chambers. We'll have a look if they cross the line now to see that gap down to 1.2 seconds at the moment as they come across the start-finish line, and it's down ever so slightly, but it's being controlled at the moment by Chloe Chambers.
Great driving. That's a great lap for Chloe Chambers. In fact, it's the fastest. 2:05.6. She's 0.3 faster than both of the drivers we're currently looking at. So Alicia Palmovsky and the driver directly ahead of us of Dorian Pan, but this gives us a great view of the challenges of this circuit, Alice.
It does, and we saw how much Alicia Palmovsky was fighting the wheel in qualifying on Friday. So we're going to have a nice onboard through this sweeping section of corners, and you've got to trust your car because it's blind. You can see entry into here. You can't see what's on the exit into turn 10 and then through 11, 12 and have that run into the very banked corner of turn 13. Pick up your braking point, use that camber on the inside. And you can see she has a slightly different line. I actually think that's possibly a mistake from Dorian Pan going into 13. You can see they don't climb that banking too early. It's fairly steep there. Use as much of the road possible on the inside of turn 14. Flat out, get the car nice and straight to hit the brakes for 16. Not using too much of those big inside curbs there. But it looks like from my eye, Chris, I don't know about yours, but that gap from between Alicia and Dorian Pan has come down ever so slightly, it must be said, as they head now through flat out section 20 into 21 and then jumping on the brakes for turn 22.
It has, absolutely correct, Alice, by just over a tenth of a second, and now she's got a great run out of here as well, and this, the benefit of the toe, as you mentioned last time round.
Dorian's under pressure, made that small mistake, but she's usually pretty cool and calm. She'll know where her weaknesses are. She'll be keeping an eye in Alicia, on the mirror of Alicia as well, to see where maybe she's a bit weaker than her. But the gap at the front now down under 1 second. They haven't got the benefit of DRS. All you've got is the benefit of the toe from the car in front as they charge across the line. Fastest lap by Chloe Chambers, immediately snatched away by Maya Verg, who's found her groove again. Down to the first corner. Just an update, Verg Chambers, the incident at turn 22 was noted. It's now under investigation, and a 5-second penalty coming out for Chambers. So Chloe Chambers has a 5-second penalty. Our race leader, that's just come through as we watch this replay of Joanne Ciconti round the outside of Chloe Chong. Yes, can you see they keep it nice and clean. Ciconte then turning in, using the curb on the inside, getting the car rotated, just seeing how much lock she's got on to get round there. But nice, clean move, but that's not what Chloe Chambers is going to want to hear. The team, of course, will let her know on the radio. There's radios in these F1 Academy cars, so she'll be aware. But for now, for Chloe, she's got to try and build a gap. She's got no other choice. It's going to be hard to build the gap on Maya Verg, but Dorian's just dropped away a little bit from these front two. She's opened the gap slightly during this lap on Alicia Palmowska, only by 1.5. But then when when she catches up, of course, is she going to now put up a fight, because she doesn't want to lose too much time fighting, because that's going to then drop her further down the order once that penalty kicks in. So here's where she was on the outside. So this is going into turn 22.
This is what it's
Maya Verg was ahead at the apex, and there's also, obviously in different categories, there's a lot of chatter about who's ahead of the apex, and then no room was given on the outside. Of course, Maya then conceded that, and then Chloe popped over the curb. She'll fight and say, well, Maya didn't leave me any room on the inside, so I had to take to the curb, and Maya will say, well, I left you room. So it's a tough one. I certainly would not want the race director's job and the steward's job, that's for sure.
Yeah, well, the 5-second penalty has been given for forcing another driver off the track. It was under investigation for that turn 22 incident we just saw the replay of. And Chloe Chambers has now been given a 5-second penalty. So that changes everything in this race. She now has to try and build a gap. Currently, she would go down to P6, so she's going to go down to P5. So that's going to lose her valuable points in this championship. And as we talked about at the top of the broadcast, this is not a long championship, and Aurelia Nobel's trying to come back through the order. We saw her in a bit of an incident earlier, and that's her going wheel to wheel there with Chloe Chong.
She's not really had the luck, I would say, this year, has Aurelia Nobles, that taken out in the first couple of races that we had in Shanghai, and then caught up in that incident that we saw earlier on. Just she had nowhere to go, basically. So all her hard work was then undone. She was first forced back down the order again. So in 12th place at the moment, battling with Chloe Chong. But one thing for Chloe Chambers is, of course, if there's a safety car, that really ruins her race totally. She's actually opened up the gap at the front.
We received 5-second time penalty. We have to open the gap, keep pushing and open the gap.
I mean, there may have been a reply from Chloe, but
yes.
Not playable. But she's doing that 0.4 of a second faster than Maya Verg in the first sector alone. Alicia Palmowski's on rearward camera there, looking back at Alba Larsen, who, our second youngest driver on the grid, I think is doing an absolutely fantastic job, managed to keep up with a much more experienced Palmowski and charging her down for P4.
She can build the gap to Palmovsky, as you said, that would be a really good effort if she can keep herself in the podium places. And this would help because Alba Larsen is right there. So could this battle now build up between Palmovsky and Larsen running slightly deep on the brakes, and this will work in the favour of Chloe Chambers, who is carrying that 5-second penalty for forcing Maya Berg off the circuit at turn 22. Down to the first corner, and Maya Berg can make life even more difficult for Chloe Chambers here because she is starting to just stay within region there. Chloe Chambers has set the fastest lap though, as you can see at the top of screen, 2:05.1, and that's exactly what she needs to do as we watch this battle here, which could be key to Chambers' race.
It could. She'll get that extra point for fastest lap, which will make a difference, possibly come the end of the season. And you can see a variation of lines between Alicia Palmovsky and Alba Larsen, looking at the rearward shot and how fast these F1 Academy cars go through that first sector. Having a little replay of Ella Lloyd.
Push tap the wall.
Calm as casual as you like, just tap the wall, no problem. She's no damage by the looks of it. She'll carry on the exit of turn 13. That gap's opened up at the front ever so slightly by 0.3 of a second. Chloe Chambers much stronger than Maya Berg in the first sector, and Alicia's lost a bit of pace here, hasn't she? She was right actually challenging for third position, Dorian Pan, but just seems to be struggling at the moment. Saying that, she's just set a personal best first sector, same with Alba Larsen, but that gap is opened up slightly. It looks like the gap out the front as well.
We'll keep an eye on the battle for second as well. 1.8 seconds between them. Alicia Palmovsky, 4th place currently, but that would become 3rd as it stands, as she's within 5 seconds of Chloe Chambers. Campos Racing watching on. They are having a great season so far. Sadly for Chloe Chambers, she has that penalty, but she is trying her best to build a gap as we watch and come down to the final corner.
Chambers is pushing a lot, so push.
So that's basically saying get a move on, because she's obviously got that 5-second penalty, and if she keeps stretching her legs at the pace that she is, Chambers, it could mean that Dorian Pan won't go in front of her, and the gap at the moment, I mean, it's fairly safe at the moment, 2.8, so it's stabilised for now, so she'll only drop down now. Well, the gap is 5 seconds from Alba Larsen. Battling further backfield, Emma Felbermeyer having a look down the inside of Nicole Havrida, Ava Agagnostiadis as well down there, so a great battle down the further end of the field.
Yeah, that's a good move there from Felbermeyer, trying to recover in this race after being spun round at turn 2, and she's now looking at the back of the American Express driver Nicole Havrida into the first corner, and Felbermeyer is going to make this move. Late on the brakes, Havrida takes to the runoff, and Felbermeyer will complete that move on the exit, Alice.
She will. Now Havrida will have to give up that spot. Let's have a look if she ducks into the back of Emma Felbermeyer. She does eventually into the first of their, or the second of the heavier braking zones. Just about to depart through into sector 2 now, and all these less experienced drivers, it's so important that the track time that they get in F1 Academy to learn, come to challenging tracks, challenging conditions. Not only will they learn about driving an F1 Academy car at high speed between the walls, but also how their bodies cope in such high temperatures, such high track temperatures as well. So plenty of things that they can learn. A nervous Campos mechanic watching on, and great to see so many female mechanics as well in the F1 Academy paddock, female engineers, and of course we had Sebastian Vettel's karting.
If you keep going like this, it's still a podium. Keep going.
Yep, he did his Race for Women initiative as well on Tuesday and Wednesday, which all the Campos Racing drivers went to as well. He provided opportunities to 20 young women at the track. they were able to go out on circuit with him as well, and the winner is going to get to go out in a Ferrari challenge car. The top 3 will be seen around the paddock, so a really great experience for them. And there will be a feature on that as well. Laura Winter was there with them and was even out on circuit with Sebastian Vettel, so do keep an eye out for
I can't wait to see
feature.
that then, see how she got on.
Yes. Now, key moment in this race. Chloe Chambers, look at the timing tower to your left. That's why Campos Racing are looking so nervous. It's 4.8. It very briefly, Alice, just went over to 5 seconds. That is why they're saying to Chambers, if you keep going like this, it will still be a podium. But Palmovski's probably being told the complete same thing. You need to stay within 5 seconds, and we've got a podium.
We have, and importantly as well, Maya Berg has just snatched the fastest lap away from Chloe Chambers, so she'll get the extra point for now if it doesn't change. Fastest overall in the first sector for Chloe Chambers, so she really is pushing, and actually she's half a second quicker than Dorian Pan in the first sector alone. But then that gap sort of stabilizes. Dorian's a little bit stronger in that middle sector and final sector, so it all sorts itself out. But with only a couple of laps to go in this race, is going to be some of the most important laps for Chloe Chambers.
This battle is now all about the drivers, believe it or not, in 1st and 4th. You've got to watch the gaps between them, because Berg looks very settled in the Ferrari in P2. Dorian Pan looks very settled in P3, but it's these drivers here, Palmovski, Larson. They could both gain positions if they can stay within 5 seconds of Chloe Chambers, who has a penalty, a 5-second penalty for forcing Maya Berg off the circuit at turn 22. If you are just joining us, we are about to go into the final 2 laps, and it's almost going into qualifying mode here for Palmovski, who's actually almost now getting very close to the back of Dorian Pan. She's really starting to set good sectors, and she's only just over a second back.
I think that was a lock-up as well from Dorian Pan going into the final corner there, and Alicia Palmovski can really hamper Dorian Pan's hope in keeping that making a gain on Chloe Chambers, because they start getting into battle. Of course, that costs a lot of time, but Chloe Chambers nearly matching Maya Berg's fastest lap that currently stands during this race. And you can see Ella Lloyd, who fell to nearly the back of the field after that stall, has made her way back up into the top 10. She's now in 9th place. Joanne Conte is our final point sitter at the moment, as gaps are fairly stabilised at the moment, and Emma Felberweir managed to keep that place and drive away slightly, at the moment at least, to Nicole Havreder.
Just over 5 seconds, 5.1. Chloe Chambers doing a great job here. It's 1.4 to Berg. It's 4.4 to Dorian Pan. So she's almost extended the gap now to the Mercedes back driver. Can she do it in time? She's cleared Alicia Palmovski. She's cleared Alba Larsen comfortably. Can she now clear Dorian Pan? If she keeps going like this, then you'd have to say she will only drop to 2nd place.
She will, and that will be impressive. Over a course of 13-lap race, we saw a battle for at least a lap or two, didn't we, earlier on in the race? So real good job and strong performance from Chloe Chambers to open up that gap, and I'm not sure what's happened with Pan. She's lost some pace all of a sudden. Rina Jafali, who was our wild card driver last year in F1 Academy, she'll be our flag, waving the checker flag for these drivers in a lap or so's time.
It was great to see her in the garage as well with Toto Wolff throughout the weekend. So just showing the opportunities the championship can provide you with. We hope to see Rima Chufali back racing with us at some stage, but good to see she's still in the paddock. Okay, final lap, and this has to be a qualifying lap for Chloe Chambers. In normal circumstances, this would be just managing a 1.6 second lead, but no, Chloe Chambers has much more work to do now. If she wants to keep position, keep points, she has to build a 5-second advantage if she wants to hold on to a 2nd place over Dorian Pan. Let's get the gap as she comes over the line. It's 4.4 seconds, so she needs to try and extend around half a second. So far, she will only drop to 3rd, as she is 5.8 seconds ahead of Palmovski and Larsen.
Larsen's all over the back of Palmovski now. She's going to be under pressure for this final lap. We'll keep you up to date of the sectors as they come through. A crucial lap, not just for Chambers, but for Dorian Pan as well. 4.6 is the gap now. Chloe Chambers has been strongest all weekend, pretty much through this first sector. Looking back from Palmovski's car onto the rear of Alba Larsen, as she'll filter out through the sector. And purple fastest overall for Chloe Chambers in the first sector, so she knows how important it is, and crucially, she is 4/10 quicker in the first sector than Dorian Pan.
4.9, it's right there. She just needs to find one more tenth. And there it is, she's over 5 seconds. Look to the left-hand side. That timing tower is gapped to the leader. Dorian Pan is now over 5 seconds behind Chloe Chambers. So Chambers will only drop to P2. She is doing an absolutely superb job. 13 laps into this race, and Chloe Chambers is on to only drop 1 position.
It's going to be crucial in these final stages going into the sectors, and it's dropped down to 4.9 again. Let's have a look. Dorian Pan, personal best for her in that middle sector, just fractionally quicker than Chloe Chambers. So it's all going to go down to this final sector. You've got to nail it right, you've got to hit those gear shifts. It's pretty much flat out from turn 22 all the way through to turn 27. Get the car rotated nice and clean on the throttle. So we'll find out eventually if Chloe Chambers has done enough.
Out of the final corner, has she done it? That looks like a perfect run for Chloe Chambers. She'll win on the circuit, but she will have to add 5 seconds to her time. A superb drive for Chloe Chambers, but in the background, it'll be a first win at Jeddah for Maya Berg. Across the line she comes, and a first win for Ferrari as well. She becomes the first driver for Ferrari to take to the top step here on the streets of Jeddah. Well done, Maya Berg. That's a first win for the season for her, and Chloe Chambers has done it. She just beats Dorian Pan to the line. They were split less than 1/10 of a second. Chloe Chambers sets the fastest lap on the final lap, 2:04.9, and she has done it on the final lap to hold on to second place. Dorian Pan in third place as well. The gap was less than 1/10 of a second. Alicia Parmovsky in fourth, Alba Larsen in fifth. What a final lap from Chloe Chambers, and what a win for Maya Berg.
An impressive drive from Chloe Chambers. She did everything right at the start, then it got pretty close and jostling for position between Maya Berg a couple of laps later, but she knew she just had to try and open that gap so she didn't fall further down the order. Probably the race of her life so far for Chloe Chambers, and she delivered, dropped down into second place, but let's hear from our race winner.
Yes, Maya, yes. Take us back. That's P1, come on. Good job, good job. Let's go. Thanks, guys.
Well done to Maya Berg. Great history for her and for Ferrari as well. They will be very, very pleased. Well done to Chloe Chambers as well in P2. MP Motorsport, great win for them. They're having such a super season with Dutch driver Maya Berg. But what a last lap that was for Chloe Chambers, Alice.
0.06 of a second, and that was enough
Wow.
for Chloe Chambers to not drop further down.
Oh my gosh. We'll get him in Miami.
I have no doubt about it. I have no doubt.
And Miami, a circuit that again that all of the drivers that raced last year have been to, so our top 3 have good knowledge of going to Miami. But great stuff from our top 3. Solid performance by Maya Berg as well, who certainly had the real pace and over pretty much everybody else. Closed the gap down onto Chloe Chambers, as picking up as much dust, marbles as they possibly can around this circuit. Not too many marbles get thrown off by these F1 Academy cars, but they're still out there on the hunt just to make sure they are within all the legal limits when it comes to scrutineering. These cars will get thoroughly checked over by the scrutineers after every single race.
Dorian Pan will lose the lead of the championship as well, and she'll see that as 3 points lost rather than the 15 points that she gains. I think that was an opportunity to take second place. Third place, it's nevertheless a podium, but just missing out by 0.06 of a second to second place over Chloe Chambers, who on another day would have won this race comfortably, but she will have to settle for second place behind Maya Berg. Dorian Pan, well done to her, finishing in P3. Another podium for her. That's her second now of the season. But here, our winner, not her first win in F1 Academy, but her first for the 2025 season. She has been on the podium in every single race, and now in 2025 it is for the first time. The first Ferrari driver to win around the streets of Jeddah, and it's Maya Berg who is first to do it. Well done to her. A super drive, a great battle with Chloe Chambers in the end, who climbs out of the car. She did a fastest lap on the last lap to just beat Dorian Pan to second place by 600ths, despite carrying her 5-second penalty, and Pan finishes in third place. Familiar names on the podium there, Alice. It's looking like we're seeing those familiar title contenders on the podium places.
It is. We've got a real battle on our hands. You can see Dorian Pan a bit disappointed there. She'll feel that she just didn't have the pace in her Mercedes Prema machine today. A pat on the back. You can see they worked really hard for that. A good drink, take on those fluids, replace plenty of fluids that would have been lost in these very warm conditions. But we've got a tough battle. You could even still add Alicia Palmovsky in there as well as Rima Jafali. Really nice to see her. Of course, she knows the drivers from racing here last year, going over to congratulate our podium finishers.
Yeah, well done to, of course, that whole battle, really, although it wasn't on the track, kind of stole the show. But we must pay tribute, really, to Alicia Palmovsky, Alba Larsen. They had put in great performances. Tina Hausman, 2 6th positions. Well done to her. Nina Gaidman, carrying injury in the points both races, and Ella Lloyd came back to P8 despite that stalling on the grid. Joanne Conti in the points as well. Well done to her. That's first points of the season. And Chloe Chong also in the points as well.
It's close. It's close for the teams championship as well. Campos Racing on the top of that with MP Motorsport and Prema Racing. We only had one change of championship battle last year, or championship leader last year, but let's hear from our race winner. Interviews hosted by Ariana Bravo.
Maya, congratulations on that victory. Intense conditions out there, but you've brought home the win. How are you feeling?
Yeah, I'm feeling happy, of course. It was a crazy race. The first laps were key to make up the moves. So yeah, that's what I tried to do already from T1. I had a good start, managed to overtake Dorian, and then caught up to Chambers. I think the first laps we had a lot of pace, and yeah, it was quite a battle in the first laps. Once the race settled, I tried to push the first laps to try and catch up, but yeah, that meant that the last laps I was struggling a bit more with the rears. It's very hot, as everyone can notice, but yeah, I think we can be happy we got home the points and recovered from not a great Friday quali.
Such an exciting race out there, and I mean, you've had a fantastic start to this season, on the podium at every race and now on the top step. How are you finding the start of 2025?
I'm feeling great. I'm feeling great with the team. I think we've been working very hard off track on the simulator and just making sure that we're ready ahead of every situation. The testing has been very positive and key to the results we're having. So yeah, I'm super happy so far, and we have to keep pushing and keep improving.
Congratulations once again, Maya.
Thank you very much.
Well done to Maya Berg. So she inherits the lead of the championship by 7 points ahead of Dorian Pan. Chloe Chambers then 47 points, so she's 12 back. Then it's Alicia Palmovsky on 36, Alba Larsen on 28. Campos Racing on 91 points, just 2 points ahead of MP Motorsport.
Points make prizes, and consistency is very key, as we see. Tense moments for the Campos team. Still pleased with their driver's performance, because Chloe, as we've already mentioned, did a brilliant job of pushing to the very limit, grabbing fastest lap at the very end as well. The only driver to dip under 205s, 204.9 was her fastest lap. Congratulations all round in what was a tough year for MP. Let's listen into the drivers in the cool down.
You were fast the last laps. I couldn't keep up.
You start on new tires, right?
Yeah, basically, no.
Yeah.
We
1 second, quality.
Yeah. We, during practice, on that lap to the boxes, we did one set and then we did another one.
Well, but it was more tricky than yesterday without the safety car.
Yes.
Like to manage the tires.
Yes,
I thought there was going to be a safety car.
Yeah, from the beginning.
From the beginning was low grade compared to yesterday.
Yeah, for me too. I felt better yesterday.
Yeah.
Oh, I hit a wall yesterday, so.
You could have won.
Interesting to get an insight there into tyres and their thoughts on the race there, Alice.
So they get 3 sets of tyres to use over this race weekend. Up to them when they use it, they have to start on a brand new set for practice. That allows you 2 sets remaining for the remainder of the race weekend. And it sounded like Chloe just used 1 set for qualifying, scrubbed a set in to save for today's race, which paid off in the end. She managed to get that fastest lap, of course win on the road, but with that penalty put her down to second. But also great to see all the F1 teams down there supporting their drivers, Mercedes, Ferrari, all there to cheer on. And I saw some Red Bull personnel down there as well.
Yeah, familiar sights, and there now are the drivers making their way to the podium. Maya, Dorian and Chloe Chambers, the top 3 in the championship, the top 3 in race 2 today, and we get ready to welcome them out onto the podium. And very shortly after that, it will be off to Miami. But it's set up nicely, just 12 points between those 3, Alice.
It's close. And Miami, we mentioned a track that certainly our top 3, you can see they're about to come out onto the podium, know very well. Dorian was strong. They were all very strong pace-wise at Miami. So that battle will certainly rage and continue as Dorian Pan comes out to take up position on the podium.
Yep, Dorian Pan, that is 18 top 10 finishes in a row for her. She's never finished outside of it, and she's racking up the podium finishes as well. Well done to Dorian Pan. That's now 10 podiums for her. Chloe Chambers out, another podium finish for her. She is having great form this season, 3 for the season now, just missing out on the win today with that 5-second penalty. That goes to Maya Verga, first win for the season. She's been on the podium every race this season. Well done to our top 3 on the podium here at Jeddah for race 2. A great head-to-head battle out front. Maya Verg and Chloe Chambers going wheel to wheel in the early stages. Maya Verg taking the race win. Well done to Maya Verg. Her first win of the season, and with that she takes the lead in this championship as we leave round 2 of the season. Chloe Chambers put in the fastest lap of the race right at the end of the race there, and that was just enough for her to hold on to second place by 0.06 of a second ahead of Dorian Pan. Well done to Chloe Chambers. A last lap, I'm sure she will play back for a long time. She put in a race-winning performance, and on another day it would have been a comfortable win. Well done to Chloe Chambers. The win for her this season, not far away, and Dorian Pan, another podium, and never been out the top 10, and you can see why. It's the consistency for her that leaves her second in the championship, Alice.
It is making sure that you don't make any mistakes. You nail every single opportunity that comes your way. You're there to pick up the pieces, and Dorian Pan was right there, wasn't she, when Maya Verg and Chloe Chambers were having that battle and nearly sucked through to potentially take the lead. But it wasn't to be for her today, but she'll certainly be very quick next time out in Miami, that's for sure.
Well done to the top 3 who celebrate. Let's quickly preview Miami. Different challenge to this one. Another track that will present overtaking opportunity.
It will. We saw plenty of overtaking from the drivers in Miami last year. Another really, really long straight out the back that leads down to a heavy braking zone with a fairly tight exit that's similar to it here in Jeddah. So hot temperatures as well, so fairly similar conditions, but it's a massive challenge for the drivers.
It is. Let's first recap what happened here on the streets of Jeddah in race 2. Maya Berg taking the race win, her first of the 2025 season, and that elevates her to the top of the standings. Chloe Chambers took the point for fastest lap to confirm herself in second by 100th of a second ahead of Dorian Pan. And then we had Alicia Palmowski in 4th, Alba Larson in 5th, Tina Hausman 6th. It was Nina Gademan, Ella Lloyd, Joanne Ciconti and Chloe Chong, those two scoring points for the first time this season. Aurelia Nobels, Courtney Crone, Rafaela Ferreira, Leah Block, Emma Felbermeyer, Nicole Havrida, Ava Anagnostiadis, and then Farah Al Youssef. Rafaela Ferreira did pick up a penalty for contact earlier on in the race, which demoted her 10 seconds. That is all for round 2 of F1 Academy. A couple of weeks break, and we will be back for round 3 at Miami on the 3rd and 4th of May. For now, it is goodbye.